So do you approve of the interview being on the open web?
Yes.
What is your profession and what do you do in your profession?
My profession right now is dentist, and before dentist, I was electrical and computer engineer. It was 7, 8, 9, 7, almost 10 years ago. I was a different field. So back then I was an engineer major, but now I'm in the medical field. Yes.
So what made you like change your mind from?
It's a little complicated, but it's of course changing from electrical computer engineer to medical field and dentistry is a big change. To me, it was even bigger because I did my bachelor and master and PhD in University of Florida, Gainesville, and then I worked at company IBM. I don't know if you guys know IBM, and for 8 months, and then work at Samsung for another 8 months, so total year and a half, and then I switched over to dental field. So it was a little tricky, but it's more like happiness. The reason, like, was I happy in the back then? I was happy somewhat, but I had to look for my happiness, not like granted happiness daily life. That's why I was struggling, looking for the different career, and I picked this dentistry or medical field as my career, mainly because happiness.
What made you know that you wanted to do dentistry instead?
Because when I was in the electrical computer engineer field, I had my office cubicle. I was just looking at my computer all the time. I'm a people person. Like, I like seeing different kind of people. I like talking to different kind of people. I like meeting a different kind of people. But doing that for the rest of my career or my life, it wasn't good enough for me. That's why I changed my career to this dental field, mainly because I want to do what I want to do, which is meeting a different kind of people and hanging out with a lot of different people. Yes.
So you're not happy you're happy with your decision and you don't regret it at all?
I have no regret it. Yes. I shouldn't have any regrets already. Went too far.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there like a specific moment that you knew?
That no, I wasn't pretty mature enough, so I wouldn't say like it wasn't like one moment like, oh, I need to change a different route. So it took me almost a year for me to change my career from A to B, which is engineering, to the dentistry. And even before that, like, okay, I would say like a year.
Like, what was the difficulty like of being an engineer like compared to going to dentistry?
So I guess difficulty of the work is everybody's a little different. Everybody different in their own way. So you can't really say the career was difficult. Anything was difficult. It's just like the same thing I said. Happiness. I wasn't happy enough with the electrical computer engineer. That was the hardest part of being an engineer, because I don't get to meet different people. I was looking at a computer almost back then I was working 12-13 hours a day and just staring at the computer. That wasn't good enough. I wasn't happy.
What did you do during like your undergraduate education? Like, what was your major?
Oh, like I said, I was an electrical and computer engineer major back then. So my first year freshman, I took nothing but math class. Physics, math, a little bit of chemistry. I was pretty good at math. I was pretty good at physics. So that was the biggest mistake I had. I thought I liked it because I was pretty good. I was better than anybody else in my whole class. So I was like, man, I'm the best here. So that means I like it. So there was misconception for a long time that through the whole my bachelor program, like, I'm gonna have to like it because I'm doing good. Not only good, I'm just better than good. I'm better than anybody else. That was a reason why I started as that major, but that was kind of wrongful, like, thinking.
Did you like do like any type of research in undergraduate studies?
Yes, that's the main thing about the PhD program. But I started BSMS combined program. Back then they had a BSMS combined program. So I did my research as my senior year in bachelor. My advisor was pretty tough, so nothing wasn't like anything wasn't perfect enough. Then I had to redo it, and it usually takes like 6 months. It took me a year and 2 months for me to finish my thesis, my bachelor program. So I did my thesis back in bachelor, and that was a beginning of my research. After that, a master PhD is all about research, studying yourself, which related to you stuck with the computer. You know what I mean? That's the part. Like I thought I liked it because I was good at it, but later on, I didn't like, or I wasn't happy enough because I don't get to meet people just looking at the computer.
So I think we're both interested in going to medical school, so
Yes.
that requires like doing some research. Do you have any advice on like how to get research opportunities?
Yes, how to get a research opportunity. First, you gotta know what research or what you really want to do before think about need. Oh, I need to do research. I gotta do some sort of research to get into medical school. Yeah, that's what most of the people thinking. But you gotta pick. Oh, I want to do something about this. That result will lead to the better result. Then I'm just gonna do it because I had to have some sort of research experience for my medical school application. No. Pick the career, pick the area first. So what is a very simple thing. Pick the area. Like, I want to know about like heart. I don't know why, but there is a reason why. Like, I want to do some research on the heart. But then ask yourself, is it really something you want to do it? Then you can have better research and also you have more fun. So I would recommend find out what you like doing it, what subject you like it, and then you start looking everything in the internet, YouTube, and also website, whatever. So you guys in YouTube, UT Austin, so you pick whatever, then you will have plenty of opportunity there. But before you start talking to or sending an email to professor, you can just say, I want to do some research with you. In what? You gotta know what they're doing. Before you know what they're doing, you want to know what you want to do first, and then go for it there. So it's very important, that very first step. Pick the subject you want to do and start looking for the opportunity. That's better.
Do you like recommend like knowing the professor beforehand before like asking them for the research?
So
or?
it can go either way. Let's say, you want to do some sort of research in the brain, but your faculty, whoever, nobody doing the brain. Okay, what's my secondary thing that I want to do? I don't know. Maybe I want to do what's next? Heart. Let's say, I want to do kidney. I want to do heart. But there's some research going on. Then you get to know what they're doing, what kind of research they're doing. Just read through it. This is what they're doing. This is what it is. And then you can ask your professor, hey, I'm interested in this subject, but coincidentally you're doing it, so I want to know more about it. Then most of the professor will be very welcoming you guys.
So how did your undergraduate like courses like help you with what you do right now?
So I thought that was the main question. So I was like asking myself, how was it? What is it? How did it help? Whatever. So before I tell you guys what to do, it's more like my story was this. Natural science class, especially first year freshman class, is very, very important. Like general biology, general chemistry. The reason that subject is important is because no matter what career you guys go, medical field, engineer field, anything, even daily life, like you working at Starbucks, that knowledge can help you daily life. For example, as random as ideal gas law, I don't know if you know about ideal gas law, even that little equation can help you making a little bit more effective decision. Like, since ideal gas law is this and this, there's a reason why this thing happening, then you will make a more effective decision. So before you memorize it, you have to understand. That's the key part. Don't try to memorize it. If you memorize it, it's like you're gonna forget it sometime. Try to understand why they call it ideal gas law. Why, first of all, why is the ideal gas law? And just ask one at a time. Like try to understand as much as possible. Then it will last in your brain or your body for the longest time. So first thing is try to understand. And I realized that after junior year, too many things to memorize in my engineer career. That's not good. Even my medical career, I was like, no, it's not right. So let me try to understand. So I start going back, try to understand as much as possible. Then I get less stressed because I understand this. A lot of exam question is more like multiple choice. There's always an option. You look at the question, you look at the choice, then you kind of trick yourself. Oh, this is what they're asking. I know what is not a right answer already. Like instead of picking a good answer, I don't think this makes sense. If you can get rid of whatever the option, then you can have better result in the exam as well. So that's my suggestion or my experience. Try to understand. That's it. And second thing is, there's no such thing as a wasteful knowledge. Everything is useful, and you're gonna need it. So yeah, that's it.
And that's actually what our biology professor is gonna watch this. He always tells us you need to understand it. You can't just memorize it. Yeah.
So I'm just gonna tell you my story because I was a pretty good student back in freshman, and sophomore I was a good student. Junior year, all the knowledge went up too much. So first exam, I got 98. It was a magnetic field class. First exam, I got 97, 90, very high score. My roommate, he almost failed. He got like 35 or something. I was like, wow, what's going on? And he went and talked to the professor. He's like, oh, you're a good student, like just keep working hard, whatever. And second exam, of course, back then I was trying to memorize it. Second exam, I got like 93. I was like, man, I still did okay. But my roommate got a 70. So he was so happy. He's like, man, from 35 to 70. I was like, man, that's a good improvement. And third exam, I still remember it was like 88. And he was getting close enough to 85. I was like, okay. But material that I memorized, it goes more and more. And then toward the final, okay, this is the story. Like when I took the final exam, wow, I gotta memorize the whole book. So many things to memorize. I'm like study after study. But then my roommate sitting around, he's like, there's nothing to memorize it. He made this sentence. He's like, memorizing is cheating. That's not your knowledge. And how's that different than you just have a little cheat sheet and stuff like that? I was like, whatever. I went to final. I got 78. I remember my roommate got a 98. I was very, very shocked because amount of time I studied for the final and amount of time he studied for the final, it was different. That's when I realized, it's not about memorizing. It's not about memorization. It's all about understanding. If you can't understand, go and ask a professor. Watch YouTube. Go on internet. You ask yourself. You find the answer to this. Everything is the answer to it. But if you memorize it, you're okay. You're just gonna be okay for now. But all the science knowledge is going on and on and on. So next semester, it's gonna be something similar. You still have to memorize it. Think about memorizing the whole knowledge for overall whole 4 years just to take the one subject final. That's gonna be too much pressure for you guys. Since you're a freshman, if I can go back as a freshman on any field, I try to memorize everything. I try to understand everything, not memorizing. Memorizing is cheating.
Do you have any tips on how to understand the concepts better?
Understanding, I guess there's no tip. So this is a tricky part. Like if you try to understand, it will require a lot of effort and then time. But if you memorize it, it can go back really. You can go by real fast. I can just memorize. Oh, I memorize it, then go. And if somebody try to understand, it just takes so long. But once you understand, then it can stay longer. I don't know the tip, so I can't give you. However, but just value yourself. Understanding the theory will help you. and it did help me.
Yeah, so
Then how did you study to like prolong all your information?
So, for example, like my medical field, like English was my second language. Of course, like my wife, she was an English major in UT, so she can read faster than me or anybody else, and then she can summarize it faster than anybody else. She can study only 30 minutes when I had to study like 3 hours. So, medical field, all the vocabulary is Greek or Latin. Compound words. You break down the two words. And anytime, for example, anytime they say hyper meaning more, hypo meaning lower. So when there's a word like hyperthyroid, hypothyroid, thyroid is thyroidism. Let's say hyperthyroidism, hypothyroidism. Let's say for two examples. Let's say hyper meaning like you releasing too many thyroidism. That's hyper. Hypo is the other way, less. So knowing that word, anytime you see hyper in some word in compound, that means it's more. Hypo meaning less. So that was one of my tricks. So like I try to like write down the whole vocabulary on the medical field, like all the prefix word, and anytime you see this, it's this. Anytime you see this, it's this. Something like that. So it's like, for example, like bicep. You know why bicep? Most of you work out. You know why they call it bicep? Why they call it tricep?
it's because it's only made up of 2 muscles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bicep is 2 muscles. Tricep meaning 3. So there we go. Now you know bi and tri. What is it?
Quadriceps.
Yeah, quadricep, because it's made out of 4 different muscles. Something like that. Every word is made out of a compound, like small word and big. Not few more small words they compound together and make one big word. So you already know. So it's easier to understand. Now you like, okay, even when you, for example, when you work out, hey, that's a bicep. That means there's a 2 muscle here. I want to have a big arm. I want to have a big gun. What does that mean? That means that there's the inner and outer. Oh, there's a different kind of movement will make this muscle bigger and the outer muscle bigger. Then you understand. You understand? So
Yes,
like
yeah.
that, even that understanding of the anatomy will help you your daily life.
So you say that like understanding is helps you know it like long term, while memorizing is like short term, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Short term is too short. So stressed because you just took the exam, you memorize the whole book. After the exam, I'm done. You're not. There's a next subject that you're gonna be taking next semester. Somehow, everything is advanced. Let's say one is a biology 1 class you're taking. Next one is biology 2. Then after that, there is a biochemistry. It's adding up the knowledge. It's not skipping the knowledge. So that's why freshmen of the fundamental science class is very, very important.
Is there any advice that could be useful to undergraduate students right now?
So I can just repeat it again. I guess the 2 things. Let's say I don't like when people say 3 things. 3 things is too many things. So let's break it down simply enough. 2 things: understanding, and nothing as wasteful knowledge. So right now, everybody has an iPhone. Everybody has an Android phone. Everybody has a smartphone. Knowledge is there. Now when you're there, Instagram, you go on the Instagram and Facebook, even if it's not the knowledge I wanted, but there's already knowledge, I'm just gonna read through it. Oh yeah, everybody will become more knowledgeable, more superficially knowledgeable, but you have to be different than them. That means now when they say, oh man, the ideal gas law will help you breathing out, breathing in for your lung performance, blah 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 blah. It's so many knowledge that you don't understand the whole core part. You're just like, ideal gas law and help you breathing so you can be healthier. But how long you can memorize it? And also when people ask you how that's gonna help, you don't understand, that means you cannot apply that into your daily life more effectively, because now you understand, you believe it because you understand. For example, let's say, what's the law of conservation of the energy? You understand that knowledge enough, then, for example, Do you have Apple Watch? You do. So when you have Apple Watch calculate your calorie, you burn, and you want to be. Everybody want to look good. I want to burn more calorie. How do you know you burn? I don't know. Apple Watch calculated for you, so calorie. But I don't know. For example, like me and my brother, I'm so much bigger than my brother. I always burn more calorie than my brother, even if my brother work out more. Why? Because that law applying into it. Because I'm a bigger, heavier. So me carrying 200 pounds, my brother carrying 150 pound weight, who's burning more calorie? I'm burning more calorie. So now, oh yeah, it makes sense. So it's not like me cheating or he's cheating. It's because of that law. You understand? So even that knowledge help you your even daily life like that. So what was the question again? I'm sorry, I was jumping around.
I think you answered it.
You answered it, yeah.
So physics is a course that like a lot of pre-meds have to take, and it's like known for being like one of the more difficult sciences. And since you have an engineering background, can you like give us advice on how to do well in physics?
Yes. Good question. Because my minor was a mathematics, and also physics was my minor. I wasn't taking enough chemistry class back in engineering, but physics class. You look at the whole physics class. There's not that many formulas. This is related to understanding. Let's say there's what's the law of the gravity law, like gravity force. Let's say that you understand that little formula, everything else is add on to it. Let's say you memorize it, then you memorize. Let's say for example, A plus B equals C. You memorize that. Now you understand A plus B equals to C. You understand fully. Now, I gotta know what's this B plus C. B plus C had to be, I don't know, had to be D, but you're gonna memorize it again. Because since you memorize it, you cannot understand. You're too late. You're gonna memorize it again. But now, since you understand A plus B equals C, now B plus C had to be D. So when you look at the question, what's the B plus C? I don't know, but since A plus B was C, based on my understanding, it had to be D because I'm putting more understanding of it. So physics class is like that. If you try to memorize it, you're going a long way. You feel like, man, there's 100 formula I had to memorize it. Not really. There's only 2-3 formula that you have to fully understand. After that, nobody gonna ask you physics question. Hey, what's the formula for this? This is a trick. People think they memorize the whole formula, A plus B equals C, A plus B. People not gonna ask, what's the A plus B? No. Now you have the whole question. Now you have to find out what's A, what's B, and how this is gonna manipulate and get me the answer to it. So, for example, this is a little math question. I give you $1,000. Right? I give you another $1,000, and then now I want you to buy so many different items, like $10, $20, $10, $20, $10, and then at the end, like I'll ask you how many chain you have, how much chain you have. But then when you try to think outside the box, more understanding. Hey, he gave me $1,000. There was a ballpark is already like $97. It's close enough 100. It cannot be less than $300. May not be exactly the answer, but it had to be somewhere around $300. You'll have answer. And now you try to, I'm inside of the box, calculate everything, and then all of a sudden you mistype or you misput in the calculator, and it came out to be 1,002, and then you put 1,002 without thinking. Now my chain is 1,002. Then what? No. You think about it. You got $1,000. You shopped 10 different items. How can it be, more than $1,000 chain? But now you think about outside the box. Roughly, this is 100. I had to have some sort of $300. Then this cannot be more than 1,000. This cannot be more than 500. So you eliminate whatever the option, somewhere around 300. Now your probability getting a right answer is already like, let's say 50% without even having a calculator. You understand? So that's kind of related. Understanding also physics is more like common sense. Think about it. If somebody dropped the apple it dropping, and then it have to fall down on the ground. It cannot just stop in the middle of the air. That kind of common sense. So that's physics, also understanding. Try to understand as much as do not memorize it. Because I think medical, you have to take the physics 1 and 2. See, the 2 is upper version of 1. Now, it's not that much upper version, but it's variety. But still, understanding will help you have a better grade. And also, I don't know, you have to take the lab with it. Yeah. So lab is another thing you have to add on to it. Yeah. So try to understand. I don't know if that can help getting a better grade in the physics, but.
Do you have any more questions?
Do you have any like funny stories like throughout your educational years?
Yeah, so let me think about it, because I thought that was my funniest story, that I took the class and my roommate goofed around at final, like he didn't even study and he got 98 and then I got 70 something, and we both got an A. But then he turned around and told me, "Hey, you're cheating." I was like, wow. He was right. Other than that, like, any funny story? I try to study too much sometimes, and I was like, man, why can I not study when I dream or when I go to sleep? So let me dream about it. So I try so many random stuff to study more than anybody else. That doesn't mean like more efficient. It's more like I'm putting more hours so I can have better grade, because I want to study more than others, not smarter than others. So smarter, kind of equivalent to understanding. I guess that's the funny story of my whole career. I wasn't partying much and stuff, so my wife did, but I don't have any fun story to share. But that was probably the most fun.
So in school, did you also like work out and all of that?
I had a little bit of phobia, so I tried not to work out because I thought that was wasting my. But if I would have known that if I could study smarter, I can manage myself and all the time, so I could have worked out. I regretted that part because I wasn't really studying smart way. It was more like putting more hours and study more than anybody else. But my son and also my cousin, whoever asked, then I'll say, yeah, try to work out, release your stress. So I guess this is pretty much the last story of it. I read it from someone else. It wasn't from me. It wasn't from Instagram. It was from, I guess, Facebook or something. But people always make a decision. No matter what, you always make a decision. People think there's a bad decision and good decision. I was like, man, I should have gone this, then I would have better. But whatever the decision, A or B, you make, excuse me, there's no such thing as bad decision. There's no such thing as good decision. All the decision come with the goodie bag, which is experience. You went to UT, so you get a different experience. If you would have gone to A&M, you'd have different experience. That doesn't mean A&M was bad decision. That doesn't mean UT was good decision. It's just two different routes. You get a different experience right here, different experience there. You can't judge people, it was bad decision, it was a good decision. You always get a experience with the decision you make, and also responsibility that you make a decision with. I decide to go this. For example, like you decide to go to UT, that means you have to be a long haul no matter what. So responsibility is to go to, I guess, watch football and rooting for all the UT and not A&M. Yeah. That kind of response, it comes with it, and also comes with the experience. So do not get stressed, do not get regret. Always experience. It's good. Experience is always good. So that was pretty much my last word.
Okay. All right. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.